Hi, I'm Jim Covington. Today is February 25th, 2015. I'd like to welcome you to this week's issue of ISBA Statehouse Review. The bill introduction deadline for new legislation is Friday, and then we'll have a view of how many bills are out there. It looks like to me for the substantive bills, the non-appropriation bills, there's going to be a pretty big pile up in committees in the next 30 days. But I'd like to talk to you about 8 bills that have been filed. The first 3 are amend the guardianship for disabled adults, and they're House Bill 2504, 2505, and 2506. They've all been introduced by Representative David Harris of Mount Prospect, and they do the following. The 2504, it provides an extension of the guardianship may be granted temporary guardianship if specified conditions are met for no longer than 90 days. Under current law, it's 120, and that only one extension may be allowed from the date the temporary guardian was originally appointed. The second one is 2505, and it provides that the temporary guardian has limited powers and duties instead of all of the powers and duties of a guardian of the person or of the estate that are specifically enumerated by a court order. The third guardianship bill is 2506. It provides unless the guardian of the person of a disabled adult is specifically authorized by court order, the guardian may not restrict the personal rights of the ward, including but not limited to the right to receive visitors, telephone calls, and personal mail. The next bill I'd like to talk to you about is House Bill 298, introduced by Representative Ron Sandak of Lombard, and it amends the Illinois Municipal Code to allow units of local government and municipalities to file for bankruptcy under the federal law. That has been assigned to House Judiciary Committee, the Civil Committee, and is scheduled for hearing tomorrow if it goes to hearing. The next bill is House Bill 1332, introduced by Representative Mike Zaleski of Chicago. It amends the Probate Act of 1975. This is a Chicago Bar Association bill that authorizes a licensed clinical psychologist in lieu of a licensed physician to sign a report relating to the adjudication of disability if the evaluation is limited to the respondent's mental condition. That will be heard in House Judiciary Committee Civil tomorrow as well. The next bill is House Bill 1417, introduced by Representative Christian Mitchell from Chicago, and it amends the criminal code. Under current law, the state's attorney or the court on its own motion may make a motion for the amount of payment to court-appointed counsel. This adds the court-appointed counsel the ability to make this motion for his or her payment, and that's been referred to House Rules Committee for further assignment. The next bill is House Bill 1319, introduced by Representative Lou Lang from Skokie, and it amends the Security Deposit Interest Act to provide that the requirement that a lessor pay accumulated interest within 30 days after the end of each 12-month rental period applies to interest that has accumulated to an amount of $5 or more. It requires that the lessor pay all interest that has been accumulated and remains unpaid, regardless of the amount, upon termination of the tenancy. That's been assigned to House Judiciary Committee Civil. And the 8th and final bill I'd like to talk to you about amends the Illinois Marriage and Dissolution of Marriage Act. It's House Bill 1520, introduced by Representative Robert Pritchard from Sycamore. It provides that in determining the issue of dissipation, the court may consider a party's conviction for domestic battery, aggravated domestic battery, violation of an order of protection, or any forcible felony in which the victim was the opposing party in the proceedings. And that's been assigned to House Rules Committee. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next week.